Hello and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. April just came and went, and spring finally decided it's going to actually try to fight off winter, because the first couple weeks of this month was like, oh boy.
Yeah, you know me, I was fighting that once a year cold. For some odd reason, my body just never adjusts to the random shift. Yeah. I be bundled up. One day I dress kind of, comfortably, cool, maybe no hoodie. I'm sniffling the next day. Yeah. Sore throat, coughing. I just got over a couple of days ago.
It'd be like that. Did you see, I don't know, you on Twitter, but did you see this trend on the 100 men versus one gorilla?
I almost sent you the picture when I looked in the comments on Instagram. They said, what's the equivalent of women's 100 men versus one gorilla? And there was like 100 women versus accountability. I took a picture of it, but I was like, he probably already saw it.
I didn't see that. That's hilarious. It brought some of the funniest responses on that one, man.
But my thing is, like, do people not know, like, yeah, gorilla's a massive, person, but have you ever seen 100 people in a room? But you can't get all 100 hands on the gorilla, so it's gonna be a long day.
It's gonna be a long day, and as people said, that first hit on the first person is just gonna make everybody change his mind, because they are underestimating how strong a gorilla is.
Remember, a gorilla don't smoke weed, he don't drink, he don't potty. He don't even be promiscuous. Like, gorilla is all muscle, always in shape.
All they do
is like straight out of jail.
They don't eat meat. Pause. All they do is fruits, vegetables, and sex with the other gorillas. But
it's usually the man who's the man of the tribe does this thing. He ain't just going out the other tribe because he might get the paws and feet put on him.
Yeah.
Ba-boom, ba-boom.
Yeah. Only a gorilla could defeat a gorilla. But somebody said it'd take like 50 Mike Tysons, 20 Shaqs, 30 Draymond Greens. They just had a whole list of people. Someone said 2009 Randy Orton.
But when you hear 100 people, 100 men versus one gorilla, like, in all reality, the numbers aren't that bad in the man's favor. It's just all 100 of you can't get your hands on that one gorilla. Yeah. So it ain't gonna work.
You're gonna have to have
gonna work.
You're gonna have to have a real good strategy, especially if there's no weapons too.
Unless the gorilla gets tired out, that's the only thing. But I don't know how. I don't know. I don't think any of us know the rate that
gorillas have really good endurance.
So there's nothing but a muscle, bro. It's like a bicep in human form.
But my favorite comment was like, the gorilla is gonna like snatch off someone's arm and just use it as a weapon to beat the rest of them. That's highly possible. They could do a lot of things that just. Those first 10, you got to be real tough to be the sacrificial. Those first 10 are going to be sacrificial lambs.
Oh no, we throw the insurrection people in there. That could be the whole 100.
There was like 5. There was over 1,000 of them.
Don't even throw 1,000 of them in there. Don't even throw them in jail. Just throw them in the gorilla.
All right, you survive.
Scot-free.
Yeah, you scot-free.
We wouldn't be mad at you for surviving because, you ain't gonna have all your limbs, brother.
You know who survived and advanced? The Boston Celtics.
If you want to call it that.
They didn't really survive and advance. They just advanced, but it was kind of the segue. But
I know. I got the shirt too. The color. I don't know why I did this today. I can't wear green on the show.
Yeah, we can't.
Can never wear green.
Yeah, we can't.
Maybe a Halloween episode so you can understand why we can't wear green. But they made it competitive for 3 quarters. Each game, except for the one game they won. But you just felt like, I don't know, I'll be honest, I was shocked. For one, don't try to make it seem like everybody belongs on NBA TV. We're not doing that. Right. Just because everybody was trashing y'all for putting the Grizzlies, in
Grizzlies and OKC.
Yeah, and OKC on prime time, and they should have been on NBA TV the whole time. Don't do that. Don't do that. do not do that. No. But I was surprised. Like, what happens to Orlando in the fourth quarter? They legit run out of gas.
They run out of gas. As I've said all year, they can't score. That's their biggest issue. They can't score.
The drop-off is that bad, though?
And then Paolo, he was on the bench for 5 fouls, too.
But third quarter, it was like tied.
Yeah.
I blinked in the fourth quarter when I looked at the top of the screen. It was up by like, what, 30?
Yeah, it was a flurry. Bro, they scored 34 points in the second half, 11 in the third quarter. They got absolutely nothing from their bench most of this series, absolutely nothing. And then the Celtics, they just woke up because there was a lot of guys. Then the threes, like they didn't make a three in the first quarter. This is all for those folks that be saying the Celtics can't win games if they don't make threes. Like this series, they ain't even shoot a lot of threes. Orlando was gonna play man to man. No doubles, so this was prime iso ball moment. So they was just like, all right, cool. You gonna put this big guy on Tatum? To the bucket. You gonna put this big guy on Brown? To the bucket. And that's what happened. So, but they gotta surround them with shooters. The Magic, they gotta surround Paolo and Franz with shooters. They got no shooters.
Well, they got one, but he don't really shoot. The light-skinned boy went to Mount Verde.
Oh, yeah.
But it's gonna, they have a decent nucleus. Yeah. They got some young guys they can build around. They were the 8th seed, so they're not a bad team. They just have to improve, move some pieces around, implement some new pieces in there. What you said, need shooters. Yeah. And Paolo does way too much. You know what I mean? So we need another guy in there. They need a
playmaker.
I mean, Cole's coming into his own, but I think they need like another wing. Like another guard, like a legit two. Because Franz like a what, 4? 3, 4?
Yeah.
Paolo's like a 3.
Yeah, and then Mo, he comes off. But he was injured, but when he's healthy and stuff, he's like 3 and a 4. But even him, you need outside shooting in this day and age.
But also, they had injuries too.
Yeah.
They had Suggs who was out for season-ending injury, so he's a good defender. Can knock down some shots. So there's been some guys that would have been helpful in this series, but they wouldn't have gotten over the hump. Though.
No. And the game they won, it was kind of like the Celtics gave them that game because they was playing. They forgot how to play basketball in the third quarter of that game.
One thing I will tell them: stop giving up games on the road, man. Like I get it, like you just head above. What's that saying? They say
head and shoulders
above everybody. But like, I just don't like them playing with wins and losses. Yeah. I want y'all to sweep everybody.
Yeah, they should. This should have been.
It's janitor time. Supposed to sweep everybody. Sweep the whole league.
This definitely should have been a sweep. But watching the Celtics in this series, though, it seems like I think people should be worried because it seems like Tatum and Brown. It's like everything's slowed down for them. Just in how they each. Offensively, how they each approach and attack defenses, it's kind of, if you watch them play, it's kind of like they just moving within the flow and everything is just easy, that's kind of.
I mean, they are the defending champs, so they're the last people to be at the top of the mountain. So now they're just walking back up it.
Yeah, and they're saying this is probably the hardest defense they're gonna play. If they reach the finals and OKC reach the finals, it's probably gonna be the other defense. But in the East, right, like all the teams left, as far as defense wise, Orlando's probably the best defense team they're gonna see.
Well, just saying defense in the NBA is just hilarious. So you got a couple defensive teams, but overall. They're all offensive teams, man. Yeah,
and kudos to them for getting this win. They could get some rest. This was like WWE this series, all that hacking these dudes were doing. But
you gotta try to win somehow.
Hey man, and you're annoying when you got the both dudes that don't talk trash talking trash. You're an annoying team. But advance, they play. They play the winner of the Knicks and Detroit series. We'll talk about that later. But the Cavs, they swept Miami, which shouldn't be a shocker to nobody. It's just the way they swept them. But Miami wasn't a good team all year. Like they were a 10th seed for goodness sake, and they showed why they were the 10th seed, and Cavs showed why they were the 1 seed. But all that talking they was doing and no backing it up. Jeez.
I mean, we already talked about the play-in, how a 10 seed shouldn't even be in the playoffs. Unfortunately, they showed by the last game they played?
Yeah.
Beat them by like 50.
The last 2 games.
That's just the product, just a bad product.
Very bad.
You would have hoped they would have competed harder than that, put up a better fight. But this is what happens when you have your 10 seed, right? 10 seed who really shouldn't even be in the playoffs, and getting a couple wins, and then getting what they deserved. And I'm a Heat fan. It's just certain things, just no. If you're that far behind, no. If you're tied a game or 2 and it's justified, cool. But you got to be a competitor to even be in the playoffs.
They gave up 43 points in the first quarter. 43. That is just embarrassing.
And it is. And too, like, people are saying, well, it's just the NBA, it's the game, but it's like, no, it's your product. It's your multi-million-dollar product at that. Mm-hmm. So some people who actually value their money, they might not want to go another playoff game, especially with those 2 teams. You know what I mean? Just like, we pay for this, like.
Only benefit it might be, well, no, because it's in Miami, but tickets will still be expensive, but
only benefit that everybody in the arena is gonna leave and have a good time.
Right, right.
They might have a great time when they leave.
They could hit South Beach earlier,
except for Spo.
Hit the bar early or something like that. Because man, I would. If I had gone to that game, I definitely would have dipped after the first quarter. See, you give up 43 points in the first quarter.
If I'm Spo, I'm calling the league officer. Yo, we might be the first team to call this. Call the second half. Call the second half off. We all go to live or something. Live on me.
Get up out of
we
here.
gotta go to the club. Like,
yeah, it was just bad.
Because that's just a bad product.
Yeah.
Who's gonna watch that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, I was trying to. Man, because I think there was only 2 games that day, so I was trying to find something else to watch before the next game came on. I'm like, bro, they still got this on. Like, you know, show a rewind game or something. Just cut this off.
That's the NBA being greedy and not realizing that the product, you know what I mean? That was bad.
Yeah, it was. The ending of this game, man, a Doc Rivers special. Doc Rivers special. 2 occasions they were leading and they had the game, but they just do dumb stuff. They were up 8 with like under 20 seconds left, and they still managed to lose the game in overtime. It was just embarrassing.
Well,
that was embarrassing. And also, Halliburton's dad, what are you doing on the court? I get off the court. That is just wild. Like, you're supposed, because he ain't know that was his dad. He thought that was a fan. So if you look at that video, he's sitting there contemplating, like, and for a dad, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Based on you changed the graphic to the NBA stuff graphic, but based on this ice graphic we got here, prayers to Dame Lillard. Yeah. What actually is Achilles?
Yeah,
damn, man.
Achilles.
So shout out to Dame Lillard. Hopefully he heals, gets back in a timely fashion. Once he got injured, I knew they was done for. Now the Halliburton's dad thing, that's the issue when you're what's the word we're looking for? A normal face in that arena, right? There was in Indiana.
Yeah.
So when you're a normal face in that arena, it's kind of like your home, your son's home. You get comfortable. He got a little too comfortable. But where's security? That's what I want to know. You over here, Halliburton's getting on his dad. Everybody getting on his. Where's security supposed to do their job to make sure that they don't even come in contact like that? You know what I mean? Yeah. So granted, Dad's is excited. Like, I'm sure, I'll be honest, I don't know many dads that probably wouldn't talk no trash when they're that close to somebody. Now, what you're saying, your rhetoric might not be what it is, but, he got excited. He shouldn't even been that close in the first place. So security should have did their job, and there wouldn't be no problem. So I don't need Halliburton apologizing, Giannis explaining himself. Security, do your damn job. What you get paid for? Simple as that.
Also, dude. Yeah, that whole thing was a mess.
What happens if that wasn't Halliburton's dad and he was a crazy fan, he stabbed Giannis?
Or if Giannis
knocked him out cold, and then it's like security didn't. How do you explain yourself? So once again, And I get it after the game, media, everybody's on the court. That's why you got to have security, even be more careful about these things. So, but Halliburton's dad, just excited. Probably, you know what I mean? Since his son's been in the league, ain't never been that close to the game and stuff. So he's got to do a better job controlling himself. So he made one mistake, he'll be fine. Great dad, though. Great dad.
That man at them games all the time.
Yeah.
The same spot.
Yeah.
And this is legit the first time I've seen him like walk on the court. Like walk on the court.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, you know better. And usually with family and stuff, they wait a little bit. They usually like the PRP, they wait a little bit to get the family on the court and stuff like that. Just so they get they wait till like the court is like semi-cleared off with the opposing team. But it's like, yeah, that whole thing was just like, it's just that video of Giannis looking at him. And it was like, this dude's contemplating his life right now.
Hey, man, dad just got too comfortable. Somebody got to remind him, like, your son plays for the Pacers, not you, my man.
Right.
That's really all that is, bro.
Enjoy the game, because that could have turned into something else.
And then you saying it's a season seat, so it's like he's always there. So he just made a mistake. Got overexcited. So,
But yeah, adults be a little common sense sometimes.
I mean, think about how we see how parents are with AAU and high school basketball and college sports and stuff like that. So how do you expect the dad to be kind of chill in the playoffs? So he made one mistake. Don't ever happen again, no, brother.
No. The Bucks were speaking of that. There's on the subject of Halliburton, there's still something about him. I just don't like his game.
He got too many extra letters in front of my last name. I already told you that. It's all jokes. It's all love.
It got to be an Indiana thing or something, or playing for the Pacers or something. Because
he's the new Reggie. That's what it is. That's the thing. I didn't mean to tell people. We're talking about that poll and all that stuff. He's the new Reggie Miller. And I love Reggie. But Reggie get under your skin. He was a star for the Pacers for years. They got similar humor, similar energy. He's like
it's called corny energy.
I wouldn't say all that because I don't know Halliburton. I haven't seen him enough on interviews and stuff, but I could see based on the poll and all that stuff. It's not about skill, it's about your personality.
It's just based on he wears a uniform too.
I don't pay too much. I'll be honest. I don't watch the Pacers much at all.
I mean, yeah, but every time they the Bucks. Where do they go from here? You get 30-20-13 game from Giannis, Gary Trent Jr. 33 points, but that fumbling the ball, turning it over late in overtime like that. Also, I think that was AJ Green who passed him the ball. Just hold the ball because you was gonna get fouled. But yeah, Gary Trent, he's not gonna have a great summer. Granted, they weren't winning this series anyways, but could have extended it to one more game by the simple things of just catching the ball. And then Doc Rivers special. You could have got this with the last coach y'all had. You could have had this same result with him, but.
Then they say he was over somebody's shoulder whispering sweet nothing to somebody ear. As you see, bunch of nothing.
Bunch of nothing. So the Pacers and Cavs, they're gonna meet in round 2. This should be a pretty entertaining series though. Because Pacers and Cavs, both teams score a lot, so there's not gonna be that much defense.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch this.
I might watch a couple games, but
I watch certain things because we have to report it on the podcast, so I might watch some with you. But those two teams do not interest me.
But I think it's going 6 games. It's probably gonna go 6 games the Cavs way, but you never know. We never know.
Just let me know who crawls out of that
the
series.
Pacers trying to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Detroit, the Pistons could have easily have wrapped this series up already, but they're just young and inexperienced, so that's why they saw themselves down 3-1. But they picked up the road win yesterday. Last night, I should say, they got the road win, and going back to Game 4. A lot of talk was about the last play of the non-called foul, and I'm just like, well, yeah, that's usually a foul. Like, that's a foul. It's like no, and then when you put out the statement like a foul should have been called, it's like, okay, thanks for acknowledging it was a foul, but that's not going to change the fact they didn't call it or change the results of the game.
I love that you said that because that's how I feel when people saying sorry to me. Sorries mean nothing to me because I'm still dealing with the situation. I'm dealing with a cut on my head. You know what I'm saying? So like that means nothing. Just do your job. I said to myself, it's because of Detroit. And everybody's already assuming the Knicks are going to be in the second round already. When you hear them talk about the playoffs, the Knicks this, the Knicks that, the Knicks that, so you're trying to force New York onto us. Just give the Detroit Pistons a fair shake, though.
Right.
That's my thing. Give them a fair shake, because that's an obvious foul, call the foul.
Right.
Whatever happens, happens. But, like, don't try to make it so, like, you know what I mean?
And the baseline ref is right there.
That's crazy to me.
That's the worst part. The baseline ref is legit right there. There's like nobody blocking his view. He's right there. Make the call. As simple as that. And also, Detroit, I think they didn't turn the ball over as much. They make a lot of young mistakes, which is why they found themselves in this situation. Late game execution and all that cost them 2 games. Actually, cost them 3 games. So, yeah, they got a chance to force a game 7. Brunson got hurt. I think somebody else got hurt. I think Hart got hurt in the game. So
last night?
Yeah.
I could have swore I seen them finish the game.
No, they finished, but they got hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see, because this is kind of the same thing that happened last year in this series. Like the injury started. The injury started in like the middle of the series. So we'll see how healthy they are for Thursday, but. Detroit got to try to force a game 7. That'd be interesting. Force a game 7. It's better for the Celtics. They get more days rest. So, whatever. We go to the West Coast. Denver beat. I didn't watch. I fell asleep watching this game. Denver beat the Clippers to take the 3-2 lead. They was up double digits for most of the game. I fell asleep at halftime. I was trying to stay awake, but I fell asleep at halftime. They had a crazy game 4. With that buzzer beater, because man, you talk about close. Thing was like a 0.5 millimeter close from not being good.
Yeah, that's when your coach reminds you that you got to box out, and it's like, yeah. But that was a tough rebound. Only he was getting that rebound. That's just once in a blue moon. That stuff happens, bro.
And he
ain't super athletic, but. You know what coach is going to say? Somebody should have put a body or something on him.
Yeah. Box out, son. Box out. Mm-hmm. Jamal Murray finally had a good game. Took him a while. 43 points last night. He's been quiet this entire series. But James Harden, man. You know, James Harden, he got this reputation. People got this reputation of you can't be. That's 2 games in a row. He kind of pulled the disappearing act.
I'll be honest. They had a lot of momentum. Early in the series, it seemed like they lost it. That's the vibe I got when I was watching Denver. Because I looked at the game, I was like, Denver's up. I didn't expect them to be up based on how they were playing.
Right.
So I think they might have just shift the momentum their way.
You get 21 points off the bench from Westbrook, and then the other dude, Brown, he gave him a good 11. It's those guys. Those are the guys that really had to step up too. Because Jokic is going to do his thing, but those other guys had to step up. So see if they could close it out in LA tomorrow. It'll be interesting, but let's see if they can do it. OKC's waiting for them, so good luck. The Warriors and the Rockets. Houston, and the only thing I got to say about Houston is Jalen Green. Yeah, this moment is a little too big for you because you've
been on Jalen's head, bro. He's just young, man.
He had that good game 2. I'm like, okay, confidence is up. But then it's not that he's not scoring. It's the fact that when he's not scoring, they can't even keep him on the court because it affects everything else he does. So it's like, dude, you got a max contract. They need you on the court. That's what they paid you for.
Yeah, I just feel like this is the wrong team for them to match up with. All its experience, 4-time champions, 2 of the guys are still on the team. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, they're not prepared for this. Yeah, they're just not prepared for this.
And he makes it harder for himself, too, with his shot selections. Like, So his shot selections is terrible.
That's where experience, maturity. Udoka letting him know what he needs from him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he's let him know for the next game.
Yeah, and turnovers too.
But I don't really see too much out of. Nobody really saw the young teams really doing anything other than OKC.
Yeah.
Because OKC was like the best team all year, whooping on people. Well-oiled machine compared to these guys that are just. I felt like they were catching teams by surprise. You know what I mean?
And they're not mentally smart. Like, not mentally smart. Like, some of the mistakes. I mean, Dylan Brooks, the foul on Jimmy Butler on the three-point shot, it was kind of like, wow, you don't even need to put your hand on his ribs or anything like that, because once somebody's in the air, any contact, that's a foul. So it was like, why did you even do that? And then giving up offensive rebounds and stuff like that. So and then that last play, Sengun just going ISO. I'm not a big fan of just like when you don't have a guy that could just straight up go and get a bucket like that, to just, all right, here, instead of like running some action or doing something to get the defense moving.
He was killing him though. Sengun was killing him.
He was.
He was the only one really doing anything for him though, keeping him in the game. So I get it, but it's Houston.
Yeah, they got good luck tonight. The only good thing is if you get eliminated, you can go enjoy the Houston nightlife. That's about it. You could go drowning in your sorrows at Houston Grooves or something like that.
Go to Papa Do's or something.
Right.
Get some seafood, man.
Yeah, man. The T-Wolves are up on the Lakers 3-1, and all the guys we talked about on the T-Wolves have actually stepped their game up. You talked about McDaniels. He's having a real good series. Julius Randle, he's having a really good series. And when you just look at this matchup, they're just more athletic than LA. And that's a problem.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's tough for me watching Luka play basketball. The usage, he slows down too much. He's not exploding by people. Is he hurt?
No, he's just a Euro.
He moving like he hurt to me. Cause I'm like, you should be blowing by these people. You're playing with people too much, allowing them to cover you. It's annoying me.
Yeah, he might be hurt.
It's just annoying me what he's doing, bro. So I don't like. He's letting the defense catch up. It's weird, man. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see him coming out of this series.
And I don't see J.J. Redick's strategy by only not subbing in the second half. I think, in the second half, just going with his starters. LeBron, 46 minutes. Rui Hachimura, 41 minutes. Luka Doncic, 46 minutes. Austin Reeves, 35. Dorian Finney-Smith, 41 minutes. Like, bro, those guys, you got, especially LeBron, you got to give him a break so he could give you something in the fourth quarter. I don't think he did anything in the fourth quarter. I don't think he scored in the fourth quarter.
Nah, he didn't do much in the fourth quarter. He was very active.
Yeah, he made some big defensive plays and stuff like that, but J.J. Redick, man, utilize your bench.
Stop calling him J.J. Thibodeau. I'm just saying.
Running his guys to the ground like that.
But it seemed like once the pressure on, this is first year coaching, he might got overwhelmed by the moment, not knowing that you got to trust your bench. You got to trust one or two pieces off your bench and hope they give you something. Right. You can't just rely on guys, especially one's 40. Like, come on, bro.
Like one of your most important pieces to your team.
Like JJ gotta look in the mirror and be like, all right, JJ, how do my legs feel? I'm only a couple years older than him. Right?
Yeah,
a couple years older than bro. Right? Almost the same age.
Almost the same, yeah.
Like, so come on, man. Like, you gotta just trust you gotta trust some of your players. That's part of coaching. Yeah. Fortunately.
Yeah. I mean, like, Jackson Hayes ain't really giving them much. So it's like,
that's another thing too. I realized. Where's the bigs at?
Non-existent.
And they wonder why Sengun doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, like
Sengun out here treating him like crab rangoon.
I mean, as Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, he be having that free beeline to the basket, no rim protection. Like, all right, you might.
Oh, my bad. I said Sengun. I didn't mean that. I meant what's his name?
Randall or
no, what's his name?
Goldberg?
Yeah, Goldberg. We just need a big to compete.
Yeah.
With the bigs. We can barely rebound the ball.
Can barely rebound.
They get mad offensive rebounds, bro.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I said Sengun. I'm bugging.
They had 18 in the last game to the Lakers 11. And then you got Naz Reid coming off the bench doing that. It's like once Naz Reid and McDaniels are on the floor at the same time, that's when things go astray.
But they couldn't have just got any big body. All these teams have guys on the bench that just sitting there.
And they had Zubac, but they traded him for some dude named Muscala or something like that. I don't think he's in the league anymore. But and Zubac's probably gonna be all NBA third team this year.
Came a long way.
Yeah.
He came a long way.
Definitely came a long way from looking like a drunk Euro.
I mean. Okay. I ain't never seen a junk Euro hoop. They don't start drinking till 2 a.m. 3 in the morning. So you ain't not gonna see them on the court drunk.
And then lastly, OKC swept the Grizzlies. OKC, game 3, they were down 29 points or something like that. Then Ja gets hurt. Ja gets injured. They come back, and then the rest was history. The Grizzlies need a veteran on their team. That's the biggest thing. They need a vet on their team. 2 guys on their team that really just annoy me, Jaren Jackson and Zach Edey, because it's like, why are the 2 biggest players on your team just... Jaren Jackson got Alex Caruso on him and he can't score. And he's got the height and weight advantage. Zach Edey, I don't know how many times I saw this man miss close range to shots at the hoop. The Grizzlies were a frustrating team to watch.
The Grizzlies are a team, when you remove Brooks and Morant gets hurt, they don't look good.
No, at all.
When Morant got hurt, and you still had Brooks, right?
Yeah.
They looked all right. So now we're seeing what pieces they should have kept.
Yeah.
And stop letting social media and the rest of media dictate how you handle your team, which is crazy to me.
Wild.
It's just showing that it's the Morant show.
Yeah, and then Scottie Pippen Jr. He had a good series. He earned himself some big money in this series because I think he had like 30 or close to it.
Somebody had to score.
Yeah, he took that responsibility because some of the other guys.
So it sucks that we say somebody got to score, but when your star's not there, you need somebody got to do something. So
yeah,
fortunately, it was Scottie Pippen Jr. So we're gonna get some bread.
Well deserved too, but this OKC, kudos to them on the wood, but
I was laughing. You said well deserved in regards to everything he's been going through.
I mean, well, he ain't.
That's why I chuckled.
Well,
when both your parents are always on Front Street, that's crazy. At least one of them got to be on the sidewalk. What we doing here? Your ass in the house.
Well, he don't have a teammate dating his mama, so
that's just uncomfortable. Regardless how old you is, bro. Because you walk by a conversation, dude might be talking about the shorty, you like, oh, hell. It's just nah, bro. That's just messy.
Yeah. So maybe that's why he scored 30, because he ain't got a...
He got a clear head now?
Yeah, a clear mind.
Crazy, bro. Some of these parents are ridiculous, bro.
And especially her. Her, she was misdoing the most.
Gucci flip-flop.
Yeah, let's go to a +1 interview. We had, oh my gosh, Masco head coach Jaycob Morales on here, Lawrence native. He's got a very, very, very intriguing story. But Masco this past season broke 6 school records, made it all the way to the semifinals, almost made it to the state title game. But, as he said, being there for the first time, the bright lights got to them late in the game, and they was up double digits, but check this out, and then we're gonna come back, talk about some NFL stuff. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Plus One Interview, and today we are joined by Masco head coach Lawrence native, Mr. Jaycob Morales. What is going on, my guy?
Not much, my brother, not much. I'm glad to be here, talk some basketball with you and chop it up.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you were able to make this. First off, spoke with Michael Gorman a couple weeks ago.
Guy.
When was I up there? I was up there in Lowell with Joe W. He was on the radio. He was a guest, talking about all the things he does, and he was just talking about how it could have been the high school team y'all could have had.
The dynasty.
Yeah, y'all could have been, but everybody went. He went to Methuen, and a couple guys went to Central.
Yeah.
It's like everybody, like the group of guys that you guys all grew up together. We all went like different schools. They all made a name, but he was just like, what could have been? What could have been?
Now we had a great middle school 8th grade team. Now, respect to Mike, I'm not a Methuen kid.
Yeah.
I rep what I rep. My Lawrence people will always be my Lawrence community. So I should have been a Lawrence Boys and Girls Club kid. I went to school at Bellasini Academy. So at that time, Bellasini goes till 5 p.m. They're doing evening study program 7 to 9. I pretty much was just there all the time throughout the week. So Methuen travel was the only thing that I could do in a sense. And I had a mentor named John Vituli who was the assistant coach. He was a great man, and I'd known Rick Gorman, who was Michael's dad, who was great, but that team was loaded with potential. I mean, there was players on that team that no one even really knew about, and then there's players on that team that people will never forget about, right? Like George Niang, Jimmy Zenovich, people that just were dogs, and then me and Mike as a supporting cast as guards weren't, it was a pretty good supporting cast, you know what I mean? And a few other talented players that we had on that team, but it was a great year. It was fun too. It was my first time playing, an organized situation basketball besides AAU. You know what I mean? Because where we come from, we used to play in the park. We played in the park most of the time. Which I was perfectly fine with. Better weather than inside these gyms.
That whole conversation with Michael, it kind of highlighted back then how during that youth aspect when we were all young and a group of friends just find one thing in common, and it's just like every day we're with each other and we're doing this one thing, and then it all as everybody gets older, that one thing is still what connects everybody into what they're doing in life, after they finish playing and stuff.
Especially nowadays, I mean, there's not many people that can say, or kids that can say that we grew up from the neck up and played throughout our whole high school career, because usually the top talent now are getting pulled from various either private schools or prep schools that give them a better opportunity in a sense, but it also taken away from them because they don't get to play with their homies, their day ones, you know what I mean? I was lucky enough this past year with Masco that I had 2 kids that originally didn't go to Masco their freshman year, and one went to Central Catholic, and the other one went to St. John's Prep, and then they both came back the year before I became the head coach, and we got to make a statement this year, and a lot of those kids got to play with each other growing up, which was nice because you can tell, the kind of support that we had for each other across the board, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and your team too, your Masco team, as you said before we got on air, it broke 6 school records this past season. I think you guys were probably one of the most talked about teams in the state this year just because of the turnaround for the program and how great the team was playing, right? How were you able to get them to buy in so you guys can have the successful season that you had?
To be honest with you, when I first got the job, I wasn't worried about success. We played them in the summer league. We played them in Lynn. We played them in the St. Mary's Lynn Summer League, and then we also played them at the Greater Lawrence Tech Summer League, and we got our butt whooped a bunch of times, mainly because we couldn't handle pressure and we weren't defending the right way. And they were 11-10, I believe, last year, or 12-11, something like that. They were a little bit right above 500. I definitely saw the potential in them, but for me, it was just kind of where. I learned how to play basketball at the Lawrence Boys and Girls Club. I didn't get to, unfortunately, when I was growing up, I didn't get to play part of their teams growing up because of the tragedy that I occurred when I was younger. But at the same time, like, the one thing I learned about being around those like-minded people were culture and standards, right? And when you set the right culture and you create the right standards for young individuals, they learn how to make this a we thing and not a me thing. And we truly embody that. It's funny, kids thought I was corny in the first couple of weeks of practice because we huddled up every beginning of practice. We broke down, huddled up every end of practice. We talked about what it means to be we, what it means to support, what it means to sacrifice. And most of those kids, they grow up with support at home, regardless if it's financially or if it's just parents being there all the time for them. Not to say all of them do, but there are most of them that do come from that background, and they don't really knew what it means to commit and to support and to sacrifice for someone. But what I kept telling them is just to watch what their parents do every morning.
Right. And
then for them to be able to realize that, they were able to realize the importance of what it means to set a culture and standards. Because once you do that, it doesn't matter if Joe Smo or Bobo the Clown coaches that team.
Right.
As long as they're willing to hold culture and standards as their top priority, that we effect will always shine more than that me effect.
We are back. The NFL draft happened last week, but before that,
what's up?
What's with these dudes, man? You got Shannon Sharp with all he got going on.
I heard about it. I don't get into that.
He got Bill Belichick with the young girl.
Oh man.
She's like his PR person now. She's one of those like. All the stuff got to go through her now and stuff like that. He just had an interview, I think it was on 60 Minutes or so, and she was interjecting herself in the interview, like saying, "Oh, he's not gonna answer that question," and he's like, "Oh my gosh," and he's just like, "Yo, stay over there," and my butt. These young girls, I don't know what they doing to these dudes.
I mean, let somebody borrow your car. This day and age, they think they own it.
Not even borrow, let somebody sit in your car.
No, they be thinking they think they went there and picked it out, pay insurance, pay for it. Like, these people are crazy, bro. So
they wild.
Right. I don't, me, I don't like anybody speaking for me, so I'm not paying anybody to just cut me off. Like, nah, but maybe he's old. Maybe he needs that. Maybe he can't hear too well. So he might not want to be answering stuff, and, he's old, bro. Like, what you like?
Hey, man. But anyway, should Travis Hunter...
I don't know about the Shannon Sharp, though. I just heard some wild stuff. I heard getting tied up and stuff. I don't even get into that.
Yeah, he be...
That's treading dangerous water, bro. That's like, man, that's like going like fishing in the swamp. You might catch something, but there's something in there to get your ass.
Man,
so like that's when you start doing all that extracurricular stuff.
Oh man, he getting tied up,
chains and all.
She sending him texts talking about she wants him to put a big black baby in her and all.
I just heard. Yeah, I ain't getting into that, bro. I ain't getting into none of that, man. I mean, he kind of like the king of messy. So here you go.
He like it messy.
I'm just saying. Right. Oh my God, this dude over here. I'm just saying, like, if you have like a gossip platform, you probably want to avoid from being in the gossip. Just say it. Hey, man. Just say it.
I ain't putting nothing past anybody that allegedly, unknowingly was on live knocking boots.
For one.
And they said they ain't know they was on live. I ain't putting nothing past them.
Bro, you got to do a whole bunch of extra stuff to...
Yeah, I know.
I think I ain't like that whole tying people up and hanging people places and strapping people down. All that could, like, you could just make somebody feel a certain way 1 second. Now it's a whole lawsuit, like all that
dominatrix stuff.
Yeah, all that weird. They call it BDSM. I didn't want to talk about, but yeah, all that weird stuff. Like, yeah, man.
Hey, some people watch too much of them X-rated movies and get too many ideas.
I mean, we all got an imagination, but like, you know, like,
Some of our imagination goes so far. I'm like, we got a cap on our imagination.
Like, I mean, I'm just not that curious of all that. Like, and I don't trust people. And I be playing around, so like I might act like I'm about to leave the room or something, leave the house, and I might be downstairs for like 5 minutes. But like, you know what I mean? Like I just nah. And you can't trust people. Nah. People are weird. People try to set you up, have you looking all crazy with the pictures. How you gonna defend yourself? You out here looking like Jesus. What we doing here?
That's what I said. If anybody, one time a chick asked me, so I'd let her tie me up. Oh, I looked at her like,
y'all looking like Freddy Krueger Dream Warriors. If you don't know, they ain't old enough.
We all sidetracked here, but Cam Ward went number 1, Travis Hunter went number 2. No surprise there. Abdul Carter. Patriots, they grabbed the offensive lineman because you have to protect the young quarterback who has a pretty good, promising future from what we saw. Biggest story in this draft, Shedeur Sanders falling all the way to the 5th round. Interesting, but he's going to be on the Browns. I was looking at some of the teams that passed on him, and then, the Giants, they grabbed the quarterback from Ole Miss, and then I was like, what? Me, in my haste, I was like, why would the Giants do that? But I was like, then I remember, they got Jameis and Russell Wilson on their QB. I was like, you can't have too many black quarterbacks on their depth chart. So, that's just Giants. You can't have too many on there.
So you want to talk about it?
I mean, it was the whole smear campaign though they had on him. It was good. Like, the stuff they was putting out about him and stuff like that. Like, damn, you thought he was in those draft meetings on the table telling everybody they broke.
Oh, I didn't even hear all that.
Yeah, it was like a whole smear campaign, some of the stuff they were saying.
I mean, I already told you before that they hate his arrogance.
Yeah.
They hate his arrogance. The boy was rich. He's like the first guy that's rich before he even got a contract.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Then he's second generation. Then I think he's the first second generation player at the quarterback position who's black. Yeah. I don't even think.
You're right.
I think part of it was a smear campaign. Part of it was confusion. What do we do with him? And some of y'all will believe we be confusion. Yes, us black people, we know how to handle our own people. They do not know how to handle and deal with us, bro. Especially when you got a lot coming with you.
Yeah.
Especially like you don't even need the league, really.
You got a big personality.
Ginormous personality and an even bigger wallet.
And I thought that's what you need as a in that quarterback position.
The last part I was gonna say, everybody didn't like Deion when he played. That type of arrogance in that time, I won't be surprised if some people were trying to stick it to Deion and his kids.
Yeah.
Think about it. They remember Deion. It's easy to root for Deion when he's in college, college football. They're over there. You don't see him coming into your field yet.
Yeah.
And then they're walking up to your field and the energy shifts.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the whole draft thing. It was just weird. He got drafted. That's what he got drafted. All he got to do is make the team. He got the talent and everything, but it was just like he went from. They went from saying he's going to be a first round pick to just completely falling to like the last day. I think it was he got picked.
My thing is, they said he was the top 5th best prospect, right?
Yeah.
At least top 10 best prospect in the whole draft, right?
Yeah.
You dropped to the 5th round.
Right.
He wasn't grabbing his nuts, slapping people.
You think that's what
you don't even hear no accounts about him putting his hands on people.
Right.
But once again, our piece is their chaos. It's weird.
Right, but you got a draft room with Joe Flacco. I think he's still on there. They drafted the dude Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. You got Mr. Touchy Feely still on the roster. I don't know what's going to happen with him. So that's going to be an interesting quarterback room for minicamp and training camp for the fighting for that spot.
It's the first time they had as many quarterbacks?
No, it's not. But the type of quarterbacks they got on.
I guess it's a good problem to have.
Well, we know Flacco's old, so he's got.
I wasn't even considering him. I'm just mean it's a good problem to have, just all different calibers of quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know, you got the old guy, you got the nasty guy, and then you got the two young guys. So.
Too bad.
The Falcons, they were fined $250,000, and then I think it was their defensive coordinator, he was fined $100,000 because his dumb kid decided he's gonna prank call Shedeur Sanders.
I thought it was $350. I seen $350 online.
That might have been total.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
250 grand.
I wasn't even listening, my bad.
Yeah, 250 grand for the Falcons, 100
okay.
grand for him. But first of all, like, why would you even take your father's work stuff or take something off your dad's work stuff? That's like that could cost him his job.
Mook, you know what that is?
White privilege.
A kid who's never gotten his ass whooped. Kid who's never gotten a whooping. Because I don't even feel comfortable touching my dad's stuff, and I'm grown. So with that being said, for you to be a teenager freely doing something like that, to do that, yeah, your dad ain't never put no.
And he's 21. He should know.
Oh
better.
yeah, you ain't never gonna whoop him.
Never. Like, you should know better. You should know better. Like, legit, that jeopardizes your father's job.
What did you think was gonna be the outcome of that?
Right.
They gotta investigate who did it. They gotta get to the bottom of it. You gotta get caught.
I don't know if you watch All American. Well, I stopped watching it, but there was one episode, you know, I think the girl's mom was like district attorney and stuff, and they were doing some case of police brutality, and the daughter she took a video from the mother's work laptop.
Oh no.
Or it was like a video or audio or something from whatever happened in the case.
That's a fireable offense, ain't it?
Yeah, she took it and then she posted it or played it on her podcast. And it was just like, this is an open case. You just took someone's stuff from their work. Like, that's a whole lot of stuff.
That's like criminal, ain't it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
right. So it's like you like self-awareness. You're doing it for selfish reasons. I can't even talk. But you're not thinking about the backlash or the consequences, because it's like, what about it's like a security breach and stuff like that, and
How about you guys, your dad has a pretty nice job and you're able to live very comfortably and be able to do whatever you want.
Right.
And you don't want him to lose that because you want to be funny in front of your friends.
Right.
Like, for what? And what would be I always ask Madeline, why'd you do that? If she tells me I don't know, then why'd you do it?
Right.
If you don't know why you do it, then don't do it.
Right. And
so,
then, oh my God. And Shedeur wasn't the only person they did that to. There was like other players.
I'm glad to hear that part, even though nobody should be getting pranked, but I was hoping it wasn't just targeted to him.
Yeah,
that looks even worse.
Yeah, there was.
But nobody these guys work their whole life to get this opportunity, and you gonna play with it?
Right.
Somebody gonna play with that boy soon.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Just in life, because like for you to just feel comfortable doing that stuff, what do you do in your everyday life?
Right. Big lesson here, kids. If it don't belong to you, don't touch it.
Mind your damn business.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what I tell kids all day. Minus the damn. But mind your business, man. Some of y'all just way too nosy in the social media world thinking that because you can respond on anybody's comment on anybody's post or whatever.
Right.
Everything's not to your entitlement. Everything doesn't need your fingerprints on it.
Facts. So, that kid's what a goofy. Let's move on. NBA, some NBA awards. Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley, well deserved. He had a really good year. Stephon Castle won Rookie of the Year, well deserved too.
I don't even know who being the rookie runs anymore. I feel like they don't even hire the rookies anymore like they used to.
Yeah. Peyton Pritchard, Sixth Man of the Year. He was like first in everything.
He hit mad half-court shots this year, bro.
Yeah, I think, bro, he was. I think he was top. He was like top 10 or something in three-pointers made and stuff like that. Jalen Brunson won Clutch Player of the Year award. I don't know how that even happened because I actually went and looked and it was like Tatum had more clutch shots than him and than a couple other guys in that running. So I was like,
what's the last thing New York has won? They need something. They need something. They're trying to force it. You see, they're trying to force New York to be good, bro. They just need something, man. Because when he gave him the clutch award, the man had 3 points in the fourth.
Yeah, those are 8. I don't know what other awards they gave up, but those are 8. Let's get you some hockey updates. Let's get you these playoffs and see what's going on. In the East first round, the Capitals lead Montreal 3-1. Florida leads Tampa Bay 3-1. St. Louis and Winnipeg are tied at 2 games apiece. Toronto leads Ottawa 3-2. Vegas leads Minnesota. I didn't know Minnesota had a hockey team. 3-2.
What's their name?
I have no idea. Let me look right now. Minnesota Wild. Dallas leads Colorado 3-2, and Los Angeles leads Edmonton.
You better call them the Minnesota Monocles. Dude with the joint on there. What are we doing here, Minnesota Wild?
Hey, Joe, what we got for boxing? We got a big one coming up this weekend. Big cards.
Minnesota Wild. What?
Well, last week we had Eubank versus Ben. We don't have highlights, but the Eubank ended up winning by decision. So that's that. It was a grudge match. So
I had a question about this graphic that we're looking at here. Like, what's up with the Air Force jackets?
this is for promotion.
I just didn't understand why, like, you got the boxers in clothes when they're supposed to be boxing, and they got the Air Force jackets on. Top Gun. All right.
We have this Friday great card, if you will.
Oh yeah, he passed his drug test.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Of course, he said that he was drinking, smoking, not taking care of himself when he fought Haney, but he's on the right track this time.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
The fight that I really want to see is actually Teofimo Lopez and Barboza on the right. They be going at each other like crazy. I kind of like that.
Okay. And then I think Rashidi won his fight over the weekend.
I'm sorry, real quick before we go into Rashidi. And again on Saturday, Canelo Alvarez against
he's fighting?
Yes.
Man.
We ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, we ain't trying to hear that. Fight the guy you ducking.
You know what it is? If he loses, obviously, this fight is at stake with Crawford coming up in September, so he better win this time.
Yeah, he better win. Shoot. All that ducking he's doing. And yeah, I think Rashidi won his fight over the weekend. I saw a little bit of the highlights of it, but he won, so kudos to him on that one. Check out these highlights. I just did, this is some random highlights, basketball highlights. Check these out. We're going to wrap this up. And we are back. Some high school basketball news. St. Mary's got a new head coach, Mr. Sean Kilty. He was head coach at Georgetown. He was there for 8 years. They just won the state title, so they made that announcement yesterday. I mean, kudos to him. Kudos to him getting that job. He ain't got to drive to Georgetown every day now.
Where's he from?
Nah, he lives in Linfield.
Okay.
And he teaches at Classical.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
and, they were coming from here, going to Georgetown all the time. That traffic. Yeah. But, yeah, congratulations to him on that. That's about it. Ain't much really going on.
Oh yeah, too. To speak on what you asked me last time we was on the show about growing up out here, I didn't win everything. I learned how to lose once I started playing AAU in Beverly. Once I left Lynn, that's when I learned. I learned how to lose. So I didn't win everything all the time, but just most of the time.
Hey man.
But you gotta learn how to lose, though.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to lose,
Winning
man.
percentage high.
No, it definitely is, though.
Hey man. Oh, shout out Antonio. He won Coach of the Year.
Yep, shout out.
Knapsack Coach of the Year. So congratulations to Antonio Anderson.
Hope he ain't losing his mind on that bad on the sidelines. He calmed down a little bit.
Nah.
I mean, he's always been.
Yeah. He ain't
That's
calmed
my
down.
guy, though. Always been like that.
Yeah, he ain't calmed down at all. He's well, but hey, it works because he got his players. His players are going somewhere. So all his seniors, they're all going somewhere. So
That's dope. That's
yeah,
dope.
man. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Maddie's birthday coming up.
Yeah, man. Her birthday is on the 4th.
Yeah,
What's that, Sunday?
I think Sunday or Monday.
It's
I'll look on my
it's
calendar
Sunday.
right now.
It's Sunday.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. I'm a
It's
dad.
Sunday.
I gotta know these things. And I'm on camera.
It is Sunday.
You can't be
are
saying the
correct.
wrong stuff.
Cinco de Mayo is on is next Monday. What we doing?
Oh, I gotta do skills. But other than that,
I
after
might try to go to a bar.
I mean, Patty Kelly's down the street.
It is.
In PBD. I mean, I'll be in PBD. We can go anywhere. Don't matter to me, bro.
Yeah, I might go to Tony's. Them people at Tony's aren't bad. They cool. Well, one of the guys that was working there, he was a football coach. I know him.
I mean, I don't mind going to Tony's. It's just I never knew who I'm running to there.
Yeah, you gotta go on certain days, in certain times. After dark, yeah, nah. When the sun goes down, yeah, nah.
I'm out of there.
Yeah, man, we out of here, y'all. We out of here. Check us out next week.